Raj Crackalack and everybody. Money Smart Guy Matt Sapaula here, hailing to you from Dallas, Texas. What a unique week we've had so far. Second podcast live done this week. In studio with me is my co-host, Milton Alvarez. Milton, I'm still sore after Monday and Wednesday. My body's just like, yo, get some sleep, get some rest, and have some protein.
It's been a good week, baby.
In studio with us is a guest that you met in Miami.
In Miami, that's correct.
Right? Strolling, you were visiting certain libraries and bookstores. And
correct, yes. I was preaching the gospel to the people on Ocean Drive.
Praise the Lord, hallelujah. And would you mind introducing Anmol?
Yeah, I'd be really honored to introduce you, man. Met this guy in 2020, as Matt said, visiting libraries, preaching the gospel to people on Ocean Drive, and definitely not drinking. Anmol Singh is a financial trader and investor from New York City. He's an author of Prepping for Success, 10 Keys for Making It in Life, and he's a trading psychology coach to high-performing traders and hedge fund managers. Anmol Singh, we appreciate you being here today in Dallas with us.
Good to be here, man. Thanks for inviting me.
From New York City.
Yes, baby.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to be talking today about New York City's crazy cost of living. We're going to talk about, by the way, you guys be surprised, we were just talking here before the camera turned on, but what the average apartment is in New York. What type of income you need to be earning to live in New York. There's a fact here I want to share with you guys. We're also going to talk about political policies and how they affect your life on a personal finance basis. And from the White House website, we downloaded a fact sheet on how much more increases of taxes will be for all of us next year. Maybe not for the middle class, but definitely if you plan on making a lot of money in 2025, how much this current administration puts together a fact sheet to tax you more money. So therefore, you can start doing some tax planning now. Also, how faith guides your finances. Anmol here is just not wearing a cross on his chest for, what do you call that, symbolic purpose, but he actually lives out his faith too as well. And also, we're talking about psychology of trading. I think also the psychology of money we'll talk to as well. So welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
Glad you're here. Let's jump right into it. So, all right, we're talking about the cost of living in New York. So for a typical... I don't know, 2-bedroom apartment. What's the cost of living in Manhattan?
So the average rent now in New York City is like $5,500
a month,
and that's average. Yeah, a month, and that's like average, not for a great place, just for like a standard, just to be able to get by, like 700 square feet kind of place.
700 square.
Yeah. So New York City is an expensive place to live, but as you were saying, right, people are also earning a lot of money in New York City.
Yeah.
I think is that 1 out of 25 people, you said?
Yeah, right. Well, let me announce it here. So a news here that 1 out of 25 people now in New York are millionaires. 1 out of 25 people living in New York right now are millionaires, meaning that if I'm working as a server, if I'm working at a Subway, if I'm working a normal odd job, that basically translates to I can't afford to live in New York.
Right.
Right. So if there's the apartment's $5,500 a month, and 1 out of 25 people there are making millions of dollars. For example, it reminds me of our trip to Monaco. That 1 out of 35 people in Monaco is one of the richest per capita countries in the world. But people don't live. The average Joe doesn't live in Monaco.
Right.
They cross the hill there to go live in Paris or France, right? And then they commute back and forth. So a lot of people do that in New York. They go to Jersey.
That's happening a lot. Like Jersey City, Long Island City, Brooklyn. That's where people are spreading apart. But even there now, like Brooklyn average rents are still $4,500 now. Jersey City is about the same. So it's like people are spreading. Even though people are moving out of New York, they're not selling their places. They're keeping it. Right? A lot of people have 2 places, one in Florida, Dallas, and then they'll still keep their condo in New York City. And it's just like a traditional thing. Every year they got to raise it by 3%. So every year the rents just keep inching up, and there's nobody stopping it.
Crazy, man. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
I actually, rent-wise, I was telling you before the show as well that one of my nephews, he's an architect. He had a studio apartment as well, and he was paying, I think in the Bronx, now that I remember, he was paying around $3,000 a month. And literally his bathroom, his kitchen, and his bedroom are all literally facing each other. No space whatsoever. He's like, dude, I'm 23, 20, 24, 25 years old. It's embarrassing bringing a girl home.
Yeah.
Because if she has to go to the bathroom, she has no privacy. If I have to go to the bathroom, I have no privacy. My bedroom is literally facing the bathroom. But I don't think that's the only thing that's being affected. I actually, in something to go hand in hand with the rent aspect, memberships, prices for many other things are also skyrocketing in New York. So if we have time for it, I actually wanted to touch on one of those things to see if I'm able to unpack a high ticket offer that a lot of these facilities are now offering, and to see if you guys, in the position that you guys are in, would you guys consider this being a valuable thing or just something out of the ordinary when it comes down to a gym membership?
Okay, cool. So by the way, Jordan, can you show my screen here real quick? So if people don't believe me, let's take a look at this. This is Yahoo Finance. 1 in 24 New York City residents is a millionaire. More than any other city. Okay, nearly 350,000, or 1 in 24 residents of the Big Apple are millionaires, according to a new ranking from Henley and Partners. New York City is almost home to 744 centimillionaires, worth at least $100 million, and 60 billionaires. I wonder how many billionaires there are in the world and how many are concentrated in New York. The combined total wealth of the city's residents is greater than $3 trillion. New York tops the list as richest cities, despite some of the wealthiest residents fleeing for Miami, now dubbed Wall Street South. Its finest firm set up shop in Sunshine State. Billionaire hedge fund Ken Griffin from Chicago recently moved from Silicon headquarters from Chicago to Miami. Miami was ranked 33rd on the list with 35,300 millionaires, up 78% from 2013. So we have more millionaires going to Miami. Well, look at that. So, but here's the thing too as well. Here's another fact. We're talking about that in a second. Where's that link I had here earlier? No, not Rolls Royce. How many residents? Let me ask you this question. Residents leaving. If I can spell, leaving New York City. So residents leaving. So New York still leads, right? So New York, 78,000 people left New York in 2023, shrinking its population to 8.26 million people. According to estimates, in 2022, lost more than 126,000 residents. From April 2020 to July 2023, the city lost almost 550,000 residents, or more than 6% of its population. So, in your opinion, from a guy living in New York, why are people leaving?
You know, like taxes obviously are the big thing, right? You got Florida with 0% taxes. You got Dallas, Texas with 0% taxes. So that's kind of the biggest reasons, because by living in New York City, you're paying an extra 8.5%. So if you are earning in excess of a few $1 million, 8.5% can make a pretty big difference, right? So I think that's one of the biggest reasons. But then also,
so the state income tax,
yeah,
is it municipal tax or just state income
tax? The city tax has its own tax too. So like if you're in Manhattan borough, then that they have an extra tax on top of the New York tax. So the cost of living is high, but I think it's also the crime and the whole immigration crisis happening there.
Yeah.
People aren't really feeling safe, and they learned that in COVID that you could be stuck in here because if they close the bridges, right, which they did in 2020, you couldn't leave the city. So basically, it's a prison. They locked you in. You can't leave to Jersey. You can't leave to Long Island. So
couldn't go through the tunnels.
Yeah. So even if you're a billionaire, you're kind of stuck. The tunnels were closed. So people are like, we don't want that situation if it happens again. So we want to move somewhere where things are still open. You can still conduct your business. Nobody's going to bother you. Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest reasons people are moving.
Yo, I had no idea about that. So during COVID, when everything was shut down and bridges were up and tunnels were closed, what was the reaction to a lot of the people?
People were like, as soon as it opens, we're going to get the heck out. That was the whole reason. And that's why as soon as they opened, you saw people moving to Florida, people moving to Miami, and people just trying to get out of there.
Remember seeing that movie, I Am Legend?
Oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Right. And they were shutting down and quarantining the city. And they shut down the bridges.
Right.
And then there's a scene where Will Smith was, hey, let my wife through. And there's a scene behind him. You saw these lights just leave buildings.
Yeah.
And then, what those lights were? Those were the helicopters.
Billionaires, right?
Billionaires leaving. So I'm thinking to myself, shit, man, if I'm in that situation, I need to make my bread so significant that I can afford a helicopter to come pick me up.
Yeah.
I can go to the top of my roof. Yo, bro, I'm on this head. Just come pick me up. I'll shine my light. Come get me.
But, they're not bad. Blade helicopters, like you can take from city, go to like JFK Airport, $300. Not that bad.
It's like a taxi.
Yeah, it's kind of like a taxi.
Yeah, but I'm sure during those moments they go skyrocket.
Oh yeah,
hard.
that is true.
Hard. And Arm and a Leg just be able to rent one of those.
Yeah, that's right, man. And so, by the way, I'm just curious, for those of you watching this live or on the replay, I'm just curious, in your city and state, if you're from Chicago, if you're from LA, you're from Little Rock, Arkansas, you're from Memphis, what is the average rent in your city to live? You mentioned that the average rent in New York is $5,500.
Yeah. It's higher than pre-COVID. Higher than pre-COVID. So higher than 2020, 2021, so 2019. And that's for 700 square feet. Yeah.
Freaking 700 square feet for $5,500 a month. So does that affect one's dating relationships if you guys are on there and you're
well, I guess everybody's in the same boat, right?
Yeah.
So even the girls are in the same boat, the other guys are in the same boat. So, but that is kind of why people have to make money. I think that's why the people are millionaires, because you have no choice.
Yeah.
You have to be one.
So let's talk about how you make money. You're a trader.
Yes.
right? Talk to us about the business of trade. So that you're day trading.
So I call myself like a opportunist, right? So I don't put myself in a bucket like a day trader. If there's an opportunity for a quick day trade, right, I'll do that. If there's an opportunity for long-term investments where I think, okay, the next 3-5 years, this stock is going to crush it, then I'll do those too. I have some startup companies that I've invested in. A couple of them went public in the cannabis sector. So that was a nice little hit there. So basically, anytime I see opportunity, I'm basically having my money make me kind of more money.
Yep.
So mostly investing and trading.
So you're an immigrant from India.
Correct.
By way of UK.
Yes.
Okay. And so did you study finance growing up? And
No, I went to college for like business, right? And there was a time where I actually just wanted to get a job because coming from an entrepreneurial family, I could see the ups and downs of entrepreneurship life. So I actually wanted to get a job. I was like, let me give a stable income. I can plan my life. And but I learned it pretty quickly when I applied to jobs. Like I didn't even get a call back, right? Didn't get in anywhere, not even in the worst companies.
Yeah.
That's kind of why me being an introvert at that time, I was like, I'm just gonna sit in something in my computer and try to figure something out. And I just started looking into the stock market and started writing articles for like Yahoo Finance, Motley Fool when I was still a college student. So that's why I tell people, don't trust anything you read online. It's probably written by a college student like me.
So not 1 out of 24 residents are. So double check the writer. Right. By the way, let's unpack that even deeper. People are writing for example, I've been approached many times by Forbes magazine, Forbes Online. If you want to be a writer for Forbes, and this was maybe 10 years ago. So it's not like I was balling out 10 years ago. I am now, but back then, bro, it's nothing even close.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so I can become an authority figure writing for Forbes because that's a marketing element for them too as well. And also a marketing element for me that I can write an article for somebody. You know, for example, I've been hit up, hey man, if you want to be profiled in Forbes magazine, it's $5,000 to be profiled and interviewed and have that article be posted on Forbes magazine. And you can say, hey, I've been interviewed by Forbes. Yeah. But it costs you $5,000. Right. So to the writer's benefit, that if he's a writer for Forbes, that's income that they can make.
100%.
So, so how did you get involved in being an opportunist?
So I got, when I started trading, I really quickly became so curious about it. And I think that's one of the things in business is like, if you're doing it for the money, you're not going to last very long because you're going to give up the first sign of trouble, right? I actually genuinely wanted to learn, why is the stocks moving up and down? What causes that? Like, I really wanted to learn. So I just started taking a lot of courses and like paying as many people as I can in the industry to go have lunches with them or dinner with them and really learn kind of the business. And I just kind of fell in love with it. I think every guy at some point loves that whole Wall Street lifestyle. Yeah. Although it's nothing like it anymore. But, that's kind of what got me into it. And I started just doing really well at it. My business partner now, he was my mentor. He taught me how to trade. We started trading for the same company. Yeah. Back in the day, we used to have prop firms. So the company would give you their money to trade. In exchange, they would take like 30% of everything you made. Yeah. So I kind of worked my way up in the company trading for them while I'm still in my dorm room. And wow. Yeah. So by the third year of college, I was already trading like $5 million of the company's capital. And I was already doing well. And that's when I was like, if I'm going to do this for a living, I got to move to New York.
Got it. So you necessarily didn't come up with your capital. You just traded somebody else's capital. Yeah. Got it. So how do they recruit you guys? What type of qualifications? What type of certifications did you guys need to have in order to be even interviewed for a job? Yeah. So first, you buy one of their courses. You have to buy in, which is like $7,000, right? So we bought in, learned under them. Then they put you on something known as a demo account, which is everything's real, market movements are real, but the money's not real. So then you got to hit some targets. When you hit them targets, then they give you like, okay, here's $50,000 account, right? And make us like $500 a week for 2 weeks. Let's say you hit that target. They're like, okay, now we're going to give you $75,000. And they keep inching you up as you hit targets up until like level 10, where they're giving you 10 million of their capital. But their risk, they don't have a lot of risk because the $7,000 you put in, once you're down that, you got to put it again. So one more time. So they give you the money to trade with, but if you lose the amount that you bought in for, then you got to re-up. It's like poker. You rebuy. Yeah. So they're giving you a lot of leverage. And I think leverage, when used correctly, is one of the greatest gifts because I wouldn't be here without leverage. I didn't have tens of millions of my money to trade with it back in the day. So they gave me an opportunity and I was very disciplined and I kept at it. Didn't lose big amounts, didn't lose my shirt, just singles and doubles. And I think that's the mentality people need to have, is not looking for home runs, singles and doubles. Because a lot of people would stop at the $7,000.
Yeah.
A lot of people stop even in our office. They stop because I don't have $300-$500 to get an insurance license.
Right.
So we just say the first rule to psychology-wise to getting ahead in life, you got to invest in yourself.
100%.
If you don't put your money where your mouth is, man.
Yeah, if you don't invest in yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, how do you expect your clients to believe in you? How do you expect the world to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? So I think there's certain gifts that we've all been given. Once you recognize that, you just got to go all in. Otherwise, you're not honoring the gifts that you've been given.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
But it's $7,000 though. But so you pay $7,000 or you invest $7,000 to get 50.
I
Right?
borrowed it from my dad because I didn't have $7,000 in college. So I borrowed $7,000 from my dad, and he was like, "This is going to be a great lesson for you because you're going to learn it the hard way."
Because he thinks he's going to lose it.
Yeah, Indian families, we don't believe in the stock market, right?
Yeah.
Real estate or nothing. So they were like, "This is going to be a great lesson for you. You want to gamble, son? Go and gamble.
What do Indians more believe in?
Real estate or start your own business." They don't believe in giving other people the money because they believe they're the best stewards of their own capital, which is true.
Wow, that's an Indian family mentality.
Yeah.
Wow. A lot. For example, in Philippines, Filipinos, it's like we believe in healthcare. We believe in college of nursing.
Yeah.
We believe in the medical system. And they were great recruiters to the medical field. Because your auntie, she made some money. She went to the States and she got 60,000, right? And then they recruit, and bring them into the healthcare industry. So that's faith in a job. So when we talk to another Filipino about entrepreneurship and business and investing in yourself, like, yo, bro, let me just stick to healthcare.
Right.
Let me stick to education and academia. But with that being said, a lot of Indians are also very intelligent. A lot of them have multiple college degrees. Is that the thought process in
And
your too?
I also think street smarts too. Like my dad doesn't have any degrees or anything, but he's a pretty successful entrepreneur himself. I think the street smarts and also the culture of families looking out for each other.
Yeah.
And we got each other's back, which is something I noticed here was a little bit missing, where people would be independent. They want to be independent and leave their communities. Totally fine. But Indians, we kind of looked after each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest element. But yeah, a lot of them are engineers, doctors. I mean, Silicon Valley is full of us.
Sure.
So
Well, in Chicago, UIC, University of Illinois Circle Campus, we call it the University of Indians and Chinese. Because the reason why I say it is all the professors in the walls of UIC are lined with professors of Indian and Chinese ethnic background.
yeah.
So and then they recruit naturally the students.
Right.
they come in there too as well. So is it kind of like the stereotype that you busted through? Did any stereotypes of being Indian, I don't know, prevent you or catapult you to where you're at today?
Yeah, I think like my family, it was a very entrepreneurial family. Like you had to start your own thing. You can't rely on other people to give you a job or anything like that. So for me, when I originally wanted to get a job, it was kind of frowned upon in my family. They're like, "You're gonna get a job? You're gonna work for somebody else?"
Interesting, really? Wow.
So growing up, I saw my dad work really hard. Like
What type of business they have?
real estate, but back
Okay.
in the day, he was in auto manufacturing, machineries, and he would go to like Soviet countries. He'd go to like Russia, Poland. He'd buy these outdated machinery when Soviet, went down. So they didn't know what the machinery was, so they would give it away like super cheap. So he'd buy it, bring it to India, export it, fix them up, sell it to America for like huge margins. That's how he started it, and now he does real estate when he's retired. But back in the day, that was the business he was in.
Yeah, because for example, the CEO of Microsoft, Satya, right? Satya
Nadella.
Nadella.
Yeah.
He's the CEO of Microsoft now. Took over for Gates.
Yeah.
Everybody was very enamored by Vivek Ramaswamy.
Right.
Right. Indian, but born in was it Cincinnati, Cincinnati, Ohio, or one of those cities. I believe it's Cincinnati. But brilliant politician. He's got a brilliant brilliant entrepreneur that wants to be a politician.
Right.
So built, and he started in Wall Street too.
Yeah.
Creating trading for the big dogs and creating now a pharmaceutical company, and he's taking that money earned. Now he's investing that in terms of changing and helping America.
Right. In terms of demographics, they are doing well. I saw something on Twitter that in America, like the demographic wise, Indians are for some reason crushing it.
Yeah.
Like they're the highest net worth individuals, but even Google CEO, right? MasterCard CEO, Pepsi CEO, they're all Indian. So I'm like, go crush it.
By the way, isn't May Asian American Pacific Islander month?
Is it?
I think so. There's how much I'll be.
There's so many days these days. You
It's
never know.
Api month. It's May 1st and May. We're in it. Hey, high fives, right? It's Asian American. You're part of that, right? Philippine Pacific Islander Heritage Month, which is May of every year. So October is Philippine American History Month. So that's just I connected the two. So let's talk about the psychology of that. So you're trading someone else's money, but you're treating it like it's yours, because if you lose it, not only do you lose a job, they'll fire you.
Right.
But if you want to stay around, you got to put in another $7,000.
Right. Yeah. I did lose it all too. Like at one point, my first year. That's when I started writing articles for Yahoo Finance, because I was like, they would pay me $1,500 an article. So I saved up enough money by writing articles to re-up with the company. So yeah, that's why I don't read any, trust anything online. Probably a guy who lost a lot of money writing articles.
Imagine if you have ChatGPT back then, man.
I know, it would have been so much easier.
A different ballgame, bro.
Yeah.
Especially with the articles they have nowadays.
Well, ChatGPT, every time I've tried it, it's about 60% right. At least what takes away from ChatGPT in terms of financial articles, they'll have the data points right, but in terms of it being like the street smarts, AI is not street smart.
Right.
So that's the element of the ChatGPT you have to infuse with your own brilliance. Yeah. But it's a great place to start.
Twitter's AI is pretty good, Grok, because that takes every tweet, live tweets, and gives you like actual real-time data. So ChatGPT is still kind of built on a model, whereas Grok would search through Twitter to give you what everybody's talking about. So it's a little bit more accurate.
Yeah, because I think ChatGPT's data infusion was years ago.
Yeah.
So it's still giving you kind of from years ago as they're still growing and innovating it. So that's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah. Twitter's AI called what?
Grok.
Grok. Okay, that's everybody out there. Boom. See, that's why it pays to watch the Seven Figure Squad podcast. So when you are trading money, okay, talk to us about, you're now at the desk. What's going through your head? Did you prepare for that day, the night before? What goes into the life of a trader?
So nowadays it's much easier because like you've done it so long, you kind of have a process in mind. So right now, these days I'll wake up at whenever I wake up, 9 o'clock, I'll be at my desk, right, with my coffee. It takes me 30 minutes to just kind of go over the news.
But market's already open though.
Market's open 9:30. Well, here I guess 8:30 CST, but 9:30 Eastern.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
So for 30 minutes, I kind of look at the news, see what people are talking about, what stocks are moving up or down.
What's your news channels? What do you watch?
I don't watch only Twitter. Twitter is my only source of news.
Really?
Because Twitter's real time, right? It's happening. People are typing it right there. Whereas news will report on what happened yesterday. So Twitter is where all.
So you're not watching Fox Business. You're not watching, Squawk in the Box. You're not watching.
They're all pretty biased and they have an agenda, right? They're usually sponsored by companies to pitch their companies as a great stock. But for us, we're looking at technical patterns, charts, and we're doing analysis based on data. So it's a bit different than like picking a great company. Sometimes I don't even care about the company. I don't even know the names of the company I'm trading. I just look at the charts and the patterns and how does this pattern perform over the last 10 years? What's the data on this? And simply just trusting and relying on data, like a casino, right? It's just odds, playing the odds. Yeah.
Wow. And then how do you know, and what's your checklist? Do you have a certain checklist to say buy? Do you also have a checklist to say sell?
Yeah. So checklists are based on, again, just technical patterns, certain patterns we look at. So for example, we know a stock, let's say every time it goes to $90, keeps touching and coming right back down. Goes to 90, comes down, just has a tough time getting above 90. So as it approaching that 90 area, we're looking to bet against it, short it. So it goes down to 89, we buy it back. That we keep pocketing the difference. So kind of like a casino, basically, we have a certain edge that we find and we just keep doing that. Win or lose, doesn't matter. Long term, if you have we call it trading with an edge, you're going to come out ahead like a casino. So the checklist is just based upon what's the chart pattern. Yeah. If I took the same exact trade last 100 times, how did that do? What's the data on that? And just trusting our spreadsheets and going with it.
It's kind of, I'm thinking right now, I was like, I need to hire somebody that can do that for me, but why would they take my money to do it for me? Because they're doing it for themselves. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like the psychology behind it, right?
Yeah, the ones that are taking your money, they want to charge you fees like mutual funds, hedge funds. And the stats is 90% of hedge funds actually underperform the market. Like you're better off yourself going and buying the S&P and Qs and you'll get better return than in most hedge funds. 90% of hedge funds underperform.
So why are people then putting their money inside hedge funds?
Because, somebody else has got looking after me, they schmooze them, take them out for dinners, clients. And it's a comfort, right? Somebody else is going to take care of my money. They don't want to take control of their own responsibility. And I think a lot of people don't know the data. So it's much easier to be like, he's a nice guy. I trust him. He's going to look after my money. Yeah. Meanwhile, he's charging fees after fees after fees. Yeah.
And good market or down market, up and down your portfolio. So
and if you compound those fees over like 10 years, you've paid most of your profit to that guy. And all he's doing is actually buying the market anyway.
versus a no load, VOO Vanguard, S&P 500 index fund.
That's better for most people. Like people who don't want to be involved as a profession.
Yeah.
Buy the VOO, VTI, spiders, Qs. Don't even look at it. You'll get better returns than most hedge funds out there.
I did something new with my Schwab account. I've invested in themes. So if you have a theme like automotive industry, right, or AI is what I did last year. So they'll pick 25, 30 companies and you buy fractional shares of every theme. I don't know. Good idea, bad idea? What's your thoughts on that?
I am not a huge fan of themes because themes are for trading, meaning there's going to be themes where you see stocks run up, right? Like COVID, you saw every work from home stock just went up like 500-600%.
Peloton, Mirror went.
Peloton was like $100. Zoom was $500. Roku, Spotify, these stocks were crushing it, and now they're 90% down.
Yep.
So they're trading themes. So if you're watching it, you know how to get out of those themes, they're awesome. But if you're looking at for holding it long term, most of the themes will have this kind of a curve. They'll come right back down. Crypto is doing the same thing on most of the other cryptocurrencies. So I think it's when you're investing, you need to kind of know what the company is and it's going to be around. Like Tesla, I think, in my opinion, is the biggest AI play that is the most underrated right now. And I think that's the one.
Why Tesla? AI play, not EV play.
No, forget EV. I don't even care about Tesla as an auto manufacturer. The full self-driving is almost here, right? That is the biggest AI project out there, and other companies tried it, they failed. That's the only one. So they're going to license that to other companies, right? They're going to make that money because nobody wants to spend billions of dollars. Ford will be like, why don't we just pay you, get your technology? So that's what's going to end up happening in the whole space. And robo-taxis, they announced 8th of August, they're going to unveil robo-taxis. They're going to compete with Uber at that point.
Robo-taxis.
Yeah.
You get in a taxi and there's nobody in there but a steering wheel steering itself.
Yeah.
That's gonna be something else, man. I want to share that. Did you see that movie? It's called The End of the World or something like that. It was made by Obama's. It was with it was made. Who was in it? The End of the World. Anyway, towards the end of that movie, is literally everything is just going. It's the end of the world, and there's one scene in there where a bunch of Teslas were just smacking each other. Smacking it, bam, right? And meaning that certain technology is going in the...
Leave the world behind.
Leave the world behind. That's what I'm talking. Leave the world behind, okay? And there's a scene in there where I'll bring it up here once my thing syncs here. But, for example, here's my big fear with electronic vehicles. Ford, we just covered on the podcast a year ago, Ford is coming out with the feature that if you're behind on your car payment for 2 months, they can start messing with you. They can turn off your AC. They can lock you out of your own car.
No music for you.
Yeah. Or if you really don't pay your car, instead of hiring a repo man, it'll just automatically drive itself back to the back to the repo center.
Yeah, that is a concern. Hopefully, Elon's a good guy. He's not going to turn into like a super villain from the movies. But that is definitely a risk with anything.
Do you think he's a good guy?
I think he is, but man, like I also thought that for so many other people in the past that you slowly start learning that it's not the case.
Yeah.
So,
Jordan, can you show my screen real quick? I found it. Look at this. Look at this pic here real quick. Friendly reminder: you can't turn gas off remotely. That's why they want you to go electric.
Yeah.
That's the movement because who really better? Okay, you can say environmental. Okay, and let's say you play that, but bro. They can track you. They can shut you off. They can self-drive you. They can end up controlling you, man. So that's the scary part for me about EV.
Yeah, but gas stations are powered by electricity. So if electricity goes down, gas stations won't. You can't pump anyway. So we're back in the same situation. But I see your point though.
Yeah.
That is a
control.
risk.
I don't like control.
The same risk as with crypto.
Same reason why you didn't like New York when everybody got locked out of the bridges.
Right. True.
I just don't like being controlled.
Yeah.
You lived in UK. I just met a young man from UK. His name's Carl. Shout out to Carl, Nigerian from UK. What's the biggest contrast you see from UK to the United States?
Entrepreneurship. Like America is very entrepreneurial. You could be nobody with a great idea and you could make it here, right? I mean, case study right here. Whereas in
London, entrepreneurs, 3 different, all brown.
There you go. And in London is more like a job environment. If you're not in finance, if you don't have a big banking job, then you're basically nobody, right? Either you're a big banker, a finance guy, or you're just the average guy. So it's very hard for somebody with an idea to make it in UK. They don't support entrepreneurship as much as it's supported in America.
Well, I can tell Unmo's not snobby. You're not gonna say the word finance.
Finance.
Yeah. You know how snobby guys say it?
Oh.
I'm in finance. You ever talk to someone from Wall Street? What do you do? I'm in finance. Humble guy? I'm in finance, man.
Yeah.
Finance. Finance. Anyway, just mess with you guys that talk and say finance. I'm pretty sure you got some thoughts here. I got some other follow-up questions here in regards to politicians and taxes, but fire away, brother.
I actually wanted to go back to the New York City aspect and how you guys are speaking about real estate, everything skyrocketing, and how inflation is really impacting everything and everybody, including memberships of all kinds, subscriptions of all kinds. And of Jordan, if you have the video, which I think you should, it's one of the first ones, the $40,000 a year gym membership, and is it worth it?
How much would you pay to live longer? Well, high-end fitness company Equinox has a new program. Says it might just help you do that. Big catch here, it comes with a big price tag.
Equinox, huh?
So, it starts with a series of lab tests. After, registered members will get a fitness trainer, you'll get a nutrition coach, you'll get a sleep coach, and you'll get a massage therapist. The new program, it'll cost you around $40,000 if you want to do it for a full year.
You guys be in the position you guys are in. Do you guys think $40,000 a year for a gym membership is worth it?
For gym membership, no. But if they're gonna, I could see how people could pay for coaches. You know, like if you get a sleep coach, you get somebody to talk to, you get all of those. I could see how there's a lot of lonely millionaires there that pay people to talk to.
Yeah.
You know,
40 grand a year. Like if I was to put all this stuff together, if you actually silo it out.
I actually have the numbers for you if you want them.
Oh yeah, break it down.
So they broke down 5 things: lab work, nutrition coach, sleep coach, massage therapist, fitness professional. So on average, let's start with the lab work. That's between $200 to $300. Let's say twice a year. So that's $600 a year. Not bad. Cool. Not a problem. For the nutrition coach, if you were to see your nutrition coach 4 times a month, once a week, or 3 times a month max, their monthly services cost anywhere between $200 to $400. On an annual basis, that'll be $4,800, rounded out $5,000. Sleep coach, 4 times a month as well. Everything here is just once a week. But most people, when they see a coach of any kind, it's 2, 3, 4 times a week. For a sleep coach, on an annual basis, it will cost you around $7,200. Massage therapists, you see them once a week. Any massage therapy will cost you anywhere between $100 to $300 per session, depending on what kind of massage you're getting, especially if they use extra oils, machines, cupping, blah, 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 XYZ. On an annual basis, that'll cost you $3,700 once a week. Fitness professionals cost anywhere between per session nowadays, anywhere between $150 to $250 per session nowadays. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, they were between $80 to $100 a session. Right now, I see new guys who walk into a gym, and I ask them, like, bro, how much do you charge? He's like, bro, I charge $200 a session. How long you been in the industry? Oh, a year and a half, 2 years. So now everyone is into the idea of high ticket. Newbies charging $200 per session. I'm like, damn, I've been, cool.
Versus what?
Versus, with the original, not the original prices, but prices about maybe 10 years ago. Now, in my world,
for personal training.
Yeah, for personal training per session. In my world, charging anyone between $50 to $100 per session was something of a decade ago. Right now, the base for every coach is $100, or even if that's the lowest, but everyone starts at $125 or $150 a session.
So, by the way, it's like barbershop, man.
Yeah, a session.
I used to get haircuts for $15. Now I can't find a barbershop. Even the hood barbers are charging $40-$50 per haircut.
Yeah. So with that, everything will come. Everything that I mentioned: sleep coach, nutrition coach, fitness professional, and massage therapist, and twice a year lab work. That'll come out to be $21,000 just if you were to see each of them at least 3 to 4 times a month, not a week, a month. If you see all of them twice a week, it'll be $43,000. If you see all of them 3 times a week, which is the most, I guess, the bang for your buck, because that's how much you should be seeing some of these people, it'll cost $64,000, and not to count the gym membership that costs $200 to $400, depending on how much access you want for them, and that within itself costs anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000. So if you were to see someone 3 times a week plus the gym membership, it'll be around $70,000. So $70,000 if you were to see each of these people individually in their own studios and their own clinics, versus joining Equinox, paying 40 grand and having them all under one roof and being directed under one person operating the entire thing and telling you, hey, Matt, I'm On Monday, you're seeing your Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you see your trainer. On Tuesday, Thursday, you see your sleep coach and your nutritionist. And on Wednesdays, you get your massage. All under one roof. You don't have to drive. It's all within a drive for yourself. Because I know Matt, I'm not sure how you do this, but for Matt, he's like, bro, if we're going to find a gym whenever we travel, it has to be within 10 minutes of our hotel.
Yep.
There's no point of traveling half an hour there, half an hour back, one hour wasted, which I picked up myself, and it's a very optimal thing to do.
Yeah.
So now separating these trades, these skills, do you guys think having that on one roof is beneficial?
Here's my thing. I prefer 40 grand is good budget, but you're dependent upon Equinox doing it for you and sourcing out the right people. It sounds like a good financial benefit, bottom line, more economical. But one thing is, once you're in there, here's why I worry too as well. Is that guy that's my massage therapist? Is the guy that's my coach? Is my guy that's there? How long are they staying at this job?
Yeah.
Or do I eventually got to hire him on my own in, like I did with you?
Yeah.
Or for example, chiropractor. How long is this chiropractor be at this joint chiropractor before they start, going off on their own?
Yeah.
So it's probably a good way for you to get started. But I think, down the road, long term, for me, I would prefer, for example, you can never tell me to go back to any gym right now and hire a trainer.
Yeah.
Like you're stuck with me.
Yeah.
Right? Unless the Lord says something else.
Yeah.
Milton's my guy.
Yeah.
And you've earned that.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many guys that are willing to do that, just willing to earn it working for somebody.
And if I may add to anyone who is in these industries, whether it's nutrition, sleep, massage therapy, fitness professional, or even lab people, but mainly for those four: nutrition, sleep, and massage and trainers. If you're a trainer or you're a nutrition coach or you're a sleep coach or a massage therapist and you have the availability to acquire new skills, because if you're a trainer and if you have the money, the capital, and the time to acquire a massage therapy license, to acquire a sleep coaching certification, and to acquire some 2-year education for becoming a nutritionist, why not acquire it? Because now instead of having to go to a facility like Equinox or having to hire 4 or 5 different people, people can just go to you and you have all those skills under one roof. And now you can raise your prices, become a high ticket person because now it's under one person.
Yeah.
You can take care of them more personalized.
Yeah.
And versus charging at a small rate, you can charge at a higher rate, but it's more convenient because you don't have to have multiple clients. All you need is maybe 5 clients a year, and you're set because of the skill sets that you have.
Right.
What do you think, brother?
Yeah, 100%. And I think for example, I'm trying to get in shape and trying to work out. So I got a trainer. I pay him $1,600 a month. He comes in, but it's not for like training. It's not like I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But it's just that, okay, he's gonna come. I'm gonna work out, like accountability. Yeah.
Sure.
So you end up paying for that. I think that's why it absolutely makes sense for if you are a trainer or add these verticals, because what else could you offer them, right? I mean, they're already there. The client's already there. He's gonna be looking elsewhere anyway. You might as be the one that's the expert, selling them the coaching services or the nutritional planning, the lab testing. I think 100%. I think that's the model to go by. Rather than getting more clients, try to maximize one client properly.
Exactly. I think the convenience of Equinox putting that package together makes it simple.
Yeah.
But I think long term, on my end, what would you guys, if you guys are watching this live or watching the replay, what would you long term? But I would love for more people to have that type of luxury though. Go out there and hire yourself $40,000 a year membership, gym membership, trainer, nutritionist, coach. What's a sleep coach? Is a coach going to be in bed with you? Okay, sleep deeper. What is a sleep coach supposed to do, man? But one thing I don't want you guys to sleep on is what's going on with this administration in terms of wanting to stick it to you to pay more taxes. If you guys go to, we'll have the link here in the description, but we put together the fact sheet. This was published on the White House's website of March 11, 2004. The fact sheet reading the budget, the president's budget cuts taxes for working families and makes big corporations and the wealthy pay their fair share. You're an immigrant from India by way of UK, now in America. You're right there in New York, the financial capital of the world, where now 1 out of 24 people are millionaires. There's this myth that goes on. I don't know what your perspective on this. There's this myth. I'll show some facts in a second. There's this myth that rich people, wealthy people don't pay taxes. Robert Kiyosaki, rich people, they may not pay taxes individually,
right?
But they're gonna find a way to pay taxes somehow, some way.
Yeah.
So can you kind of either give us a fact on your end or maybe demystify this fact that rich people aren't paying their fair share of income taxes?
How much time do we have?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's start with this. there's not just like income tax. I think that's what most people don't understand. Like they haven't been taught economics or finance properly. Like if I'm running a business, even if let's say there's no income tax being paid, you're still paying sales tax. You're buying all these products, the machinery, the equipment. You're paying property taxes you're going to pay if you own the property.
Payroll tax. You're hiring people.
Yeah. Sales tax. You're going to pay sales tax, which is crazy in New York. Then you're going to pay like all these different taxes that if you are going to eliminate the American dream just because you want to stick it to the big guy, then all the other industries also go down. Because if you don't buy the products, property taxes, payroll taxes, those are all forms of taxes that if you do the math on that, like it's way more than if they just paid an income tax.
Yeah, you're right. They look at it from the side of one tax, personal income tax.
Yeah.
By the way, our job is to squeeze down as much personal income tax as possible because that's the most amount of taxes that we'll eventually pay.
Yeah.
But I'd rather pay 20% capital gains tax. I'd rather pay taxes on payroll tax. At least that's why I'm employing people and making my company more productive.
Right.
Jordan, can you look at my screen here real quick? Because I want to show this. This is from the National Taxpayers Union. Altogether, the top 50% of filers earn 90% of all income in America. We're responsible for 98% of all income tax paid in 2021. Boom. The other half of earners, those with incomes below $46,000, collectively paid 2.3% of all income taxes in 2021.
Yeah.
So they're, by the way, out your feelings. It's not a right wing, left wing, Republican, Democrat thing. This is data from the National Taxpayers Union. So hopefully that helps demystify it. And furthermore, now Biden wants to hit more of wealthy people that are getting. So can you explain it real quick from a mindset standpoint? What is wealth? When somebody says they're wealthy, they're rich. Can you explain to me what that perspective all really encompasses?
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand that entrepreneurs that create wealth, they're putting themselves in tremendous risk. Like when I started my first business when I moved here, I bought properties, I bought equipment, well over $1 million invested in the business, employing 10 people whose payroll I'm responsible for. So you need to incentivize the risk so that they can create wealth. But if you take the incentive away from entrepreneurship, you're killing the American dream.
Great point.
You're killing entrepreneurship.
Yep.
And I can see that if your agenda is to create a working class rather than entrepreneurship class that are independent, you could see how that's trending that way. Canada, I think, announced something as well, 66% taxes.
Exactly. I was about to punch that up.
It's crazy. And why do you think Dubai is so successful right now? Because people are moving.
There's no tax there.
Yeah, and people are moving. And and also they can see that the taxes are being used correctly. There's no crime there. The roads are perfect. But if you're going to give me broken roads in New York City and you're going to spend our tax dollars giving it to other countries, then what am I actually paying for? You know, I think you got to at least give them a good quality of life like other Middle Eastern countries successfully have.
Here it is. Let me punch up here real quick on my screen. I know we're short on time, man, but I can keep going on with you, on and on with you, and I hope that you are eventually moving to Dallas if that is an opportunity for you. We need more big thinkers here in Dallas. So here it is. If you guys see my screen, Canada's capital gains tax rise will further knock productivity, say economists. Well, no kidding. Why? Because if you disincentivize the most profitable, most productive people in your society, and they're the ones creating jobs and tax revenue, eventually they're going to leave. I heard there's this video I was watching here. In a bid to increase revenue to pay for housing and other programs, Canada's annual budget on Tuesday proposed increasing the share of capital gains tax that is subject to taxation to 2/3 from 1/2 for people with annual investments greater than $250,000. In other words, they're penalizing if you've done your job to be productive and less dependent upon government and more independent, they're going to penalize you some more for being more productive.
Yeah.
So I saw this a couple actually leave Canada and emigrate to Russia. To Russia.
Yeah.
Like a month ago, 2 months, with their 8 kids. They didn't come to America, sadly. They went to Russia. So anyway, we'll cover that in another story. So another thing too is, for anybody in real estate, eliminates tax subsidies for real estate. The budget closes the like-kind exchange loophole. That's the 1031 exchange. A special tax subsidies for real estate. So in other words, not just traders or high-income earners, anybody that's investing in real estate. If I buy a property and sell it, I can use a 1031 exchange to find like-kind property, and I can pass on that income tax I have from one property to another.
Right.
And I just keep doing that, and I keep doing that, and I keep doing that. They're trying to tax that. There's another tax one you didn't like too in terms of unrealized gain.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that's never going to get passed. But like, if it does, that's just insane. But even for real estate, it's like, who are you actually helping? You're actually helping Blackstone. You're actually helping BlackRock and all these bigger companies. So it's not like
State
they're going
Street
after
Securities.
the big guys.
Yeah.
They're actually going after the average American dream, the person who can make it, you know, rather, and they're giving it to the corporations because they're going to be able to buy those corporations. Apple doesn't pay any taxes, right? Apple is in Ireland. So
they're not even domestic. They're an international company with a resident in the States.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, that's what Trump was trying to do, is get, hey guys, re-domicile back in America and I'll give you tax credits.
Right.
Because he's just trying to recruit them. He's trying to recruit these American companies to come back to America. You know?
And the recent administration, they rolled back the Trump tax cuts. They rolled it back, and you know, it's not
First
gonna-
day.
Yeah.
First day, you know? Now, he says here also, cuts tax for working families in the middle class. Going forward, in addition to honoring his pledge not to raise taxes on anyone earning less than $400,000 annually, President Biden's tax plan would cut tax for the middle class and low-income Americans by $765 billion over the next 10 years. Increasing child tax credit for 66 million children. Cut tax for 19 million working class Americans. Makes lower health insurance premiums permanent. By the way, all those sounds very attractive. If I was a working middle class, I'd be very encouraged by this. But here's the thing: the reason why people watch our podcast is that you don't want to be middle class. You want to get rich for the right reasons. You want to be wealthy for the right reasons. So, by the way, we'll put the link here and below. If you guys would like to have us unpack the fact sheet of the president's budget cuts and find out opportunities for you to take advantage of, let me know in the comment section below if you want us to do a video on anticipating taxes for 2012, 25 and beyond. Before I let you go, brother, I thank you for the book. We have less than 5 minutes for the show. It says Prepping for Success, 10 Keys for Making. What motivated you to write this book?
So this is basically everything that kind of I learned in my own journey. Like, I hired a lot of coaches, mentors, spent a lot of money working on myself. So everything that I've learned in my journey, I kind of distilling down to 10 keys, because I realized that not everybody has the time or the money to do all the things that I did to work on myself. So I try to put it was basically written as notes to myself, for myself, on things that I need to do, and eventually just turn it into a book.
What's the situation, man? You married?
No, I'm not married yet.
No kids?
No kids.
Are we advertising Venmo right now?
Yes. If anybody's,
He said yes.
yes. Delta 90, hit me up.
So do you believe that finding the right woman, right spouse is helpful to you as a man?
It's absolutely imperative, because more than finding the right partner, if you find the wrong one, that could lead your life to a completely disastrous road. You know, like, don't go for just the warm and fuzzy feelings you get when you're first dating. Like, really look if your values
Infatuation phase. Yeah.
Just look if your values align, and if she's going to be the one you could see building your kingdom with, right? I think that's really important.
How much has your faith guided you in terms of this journey from India, UK, United States, guided you to your success in business as a trader, writing a book, and now building a kingdom with your future queen?
Yeah, I think from business standpoint properly, because like for me, it's not like I don't give myself that much credit. I earned everything. I'm like, hey, this is all part of, let's say, God's kingdom, right? And I'm just stewarding his capital that he's been given to me. So if you treat it like that, I think that's kind of the mindset that I have. But for me, it's still a journey. I'm still, new, finding my way into the whole faith. But I think looking at it from a perspective of kind of humbling yourself and doing it for the right reasons, I think is really important.
Yeah, 100%, man. What's one thing, before I let you go, man, what's one thing you want people to know about becoming a millionaire? Is it possible for somebody making 40, 50, 60 grand a year? Is it possible for somebody strapped in debt? Is it possible for somebody that doesn't seem to see a light at the end of the tunnel? What word of advice did you give to people about becoming a millionaire for the right reasons?
It's still alive so far, right? Go vote. No, I'm just kidding. It's
Right.
it's
Please
still
register,
alive.
go vote. Yeah, sure.
Still alive. The dream still exists, and you can still make it. I mean, it's not that long ago that I really came to this country and still established my business. So it's absolutely possible, but you have to be willing to put in the work. It's not just sit and manifest and think about it and you'll go to get it. You got to think, feel, but also act and do those things needed to get to your result. And you need to have that North Star, that vision. So suspension of disbelief, any belief that you have, just suspend all your disbeliefs and know that you can do it, and just go out and make it happen. But don't take no for an answer, and have a good enough reason of why you want it. It can't just be money.
Amen to that, man. So that being said, guys, I want to know what your thoughts, your questions, your feedback. You agree with us? You don't agree with us? Please put it in the comment section below. Make sure before you leave, make sure you subscribe, hit like, help us with the algos so we can bring better guests here as the podcast continues. With that being said, guys, one last shameless plug. If you haven't done so already, please go to our website here at shop.7figuresquad.com. Can we show my screen here one last time? We've launched some new shirts here. The Gotcha shirt looks like a Tupac shirt, all the way to the left. Faith Man Millionaire shirt, first generation millionaire shirt, and my favorite that we just launched here, all the way to the right which is the Just Earn It shirt, which I think is something that you'd buy into, right?
Yep.
Nobody, you weren't entitled to it. Nobody
Yep.
gave it to you. You went out there and earned it. And if that's you, go pick up a shirt at 7figuresquad.com. Shop.7figuresquad.com. That being said, guys, thanks for tuning in. See you next Wednesday, noon Central Standard Time here where the 7 Figure Squad podcast lives. Till we meet again, on behalf of Milton Alvarez, Anmol Singh, continue to live smart, continue to love smart, and be mighty smart today. Bye-bye, guys. See you next week.